The castle at Marco Simone in the Lazio countryside, 11 miles northeast of Rome, is believed to date to the year 1000. In its long lifetime, the castle has borne witness to a remarkable swathe of Roman history, a millennia of prosperity, papacy and dynastic landowners, European and Asian invaders, a renaissance of art, music and culture, and even the creation of one of the continent's best golf courses. Now it braces for an invasion of another kind. This one from the New World in the form of the United States Ryder Cup team, who will compete with their European counterparts at the Marco Simone Golf and Country Club. What they will find is a battlefield anything but romantic or hospitable, with fortress-like greens, punishing bunkers and deep, club-twisting rough. The course opened in 1991, but was completely remodelled in 2018 in preparation for the 44th Ryder Cup matches by European Golf Design, with an assist from Tom Fazio II, the son of the course's original architect. Using the property's rolling meadows as a blank canvas, the firm created entirely new holes and switched the directions of others to create confounding obstacles and strategic dilemmas while showcasing distant views of Rome and St. Peter's Basilica. With nearly 12 centuries of prelude and preparation underfoot, let the newest chapter begin. This is Every Hole at Marco Simone Golf and Country Club. There's nothing subtle about the 445-yard uphill par 4 that begins the round at Marco Simone. No friendly handshake, no gentle warm-up. It plays out of a wide bowl at a low point on the property, and players must fit a confident drive between a bunker on the left and two more 300 yards from the tee. With a deep green angled over a bunker and a prominent ridge creasing the front third, hole location can of course impact tactics, making it essential to control spin to the near pins, while requiring enough club to reach the rear flags. The centreline bunker on the slightly downhill drive at the long par 4 second won't likely come into play for the Ryder Cup contestants, who can cover it with a 275-yard carry, though the two beyond it might. But it's a problem for everyone else, who must decide to play short of it, to the right or even to a small slither of fairway on the left. If long hitters can keep their ball on the short grass, they'll face another uphill approach across a shoulder of land, though care must be taken not to miss through the green, where the land falls away well below the putting surface. The aggressive line is the bell tower on the horizon. The fearless line is cutting the corner to the right of it, though the blind landing area beyond the hillside brow is just 25 yards wide. The real danger here and throughout Marco Simone are the deep native grasses that encroach the fairways and swallow errant tee shots, so accuracy is paramount. Hole locations in the basin at the front of the wide, unprotected green will produce birdie opportunities, but when they're shifted to the elevated sections towards the back and right edge, par will be a very good score. The large bunker in the foreground of the par 3 fourth is eye candy, though the two on the right side of the green are in play when flags are placed in the back right corner. At 185 yards and playing downhill, this is just a short iron for most good players, with the two-level putting surface the hole's primary defence. The front shelf is accessible to a controlled spinning shot, but attacking the rear plateau is more of a challenge, especially if the winds are swirling in this low cove where the hole is located. The course's first water feature guards the left side of the fifth hole, a short par 4 that plays towards Castello di Marco Simone. Hitting driver brings the lake and a pair of bunkers into play, so the prudent shot for Ryder Cup contestants is a 240-yard layup that leaves just a short iron or wedge approach to the wide putting surface. To maximise match play excitement, the tee can be moved up to entice players to try and drive the back-to-front sloping green with a 290-yard carry directly over the water, though coming up short or left will lose the hole. The sixth, another short par 4, is the only hole from the original routing that remains in the same place with the same orientation. It runs between an out-of-bounds area on the right and a grove of umbrella pines near the green on the left, and the decision is to either lay back of the fairway bunker on the right or to try and squeeze a drive past it for a short, blind pitch up to a green. A series of ridges extend into the long, angled putting surface from the rear, creating distinct compartments and hole locations that must be approached with care. Playing back down into the arena towards the first tee, the 7th can range from 145 to 220 yards. The green is nearly 50 yards deep, and like the 4th, the putting contours provide most of the defence, with multiple levels breaking through its gourd shape that narrows the farther back the flag is placed. Missing short and right offers several different ways to get up and down, but any shot left of the green may bounce down an embankment into a penalty area. Holes 8 and 9 make a brief out-and-back detour to the west around a lake and a stream that were created during the 2018 remodel. Though listed as a par 5, the 8th is essentially a long par 4 to elite players who can easily reach the green in 2. But doing so requires a precise 200 to 225 yard shot directly over the water to a raised putting surface that increasingly narrows towards the back left. For shorter players, the option to lay up is also attractive, with spacious fairway just past the 2 umbrella pines on the right that sets up a short, third shot into the length of the green with valleys running through the front and rear. The 9th flips back in the opposite direction of the 8th, the stream and the hazard now on the left. Once again, a bunker at 275 yards off the back tee squeezes the landing area and forces a decision to whether to place a drive in the 40-yard wide fairway short of it, or to risk a bolder tee shot left to set up a shorter second shot. The water left of the green is only in play for wild shots, but the 3 bunkers bracketing the elevated green are popular destinations. The worst miss here is through the green into the long native grasses, where simply finding the ball can be a challenge. The fairway at the par 4 10th rolls through a small valley along the southern boundary of the course. It bottlenecks at the 300-yard mark from the back tees, shrinking the landing zone from 40 yards down to just 22. And any drive missed to the right is likely to find a ravine of native grass and a stream. Though large, the heart-shaped green is an elusive target with a false front and a back right section framed by bunkers. During the 2023 Italian Open at Marco Simone, the 10th gave up just 42 birdies and wrecked cards with 144 bogeys or worse. Unlike the 5th, where adjusted tee placement makes that hole potentially drivable, the par 4 11th is designed to entice players to go for the green. From the championship tees, it's just over 300 yards to reach the front, but the hole plays uphill and a roll-off at the nose of the putting surface will send balls rolling back towards the fairway. Hole location can also vary the difficulty. Tucked pins on the left may influence layups to avoid short-sided drives into the bunkers, and holes on the right edge of the green must be approached delicately, or else shots will be deflected back down the steep bank. The section of land surrounding the 11th green and the 12th tees was not utilised in the previous versions of the course. A shame, since this is the highest point on the property and provides panoramic views all the way to Rome. The downhill nature of the tee shot may tempt a few professionals into taking on the dogleg, a diagonal carry between 270 and 305 yards, but clubbing down to the widest part of the fairway will still yield a great vantage for the second shot down into the length of another 2-tiered green. A lovely new hole, the 12th, will yield birdies and even eagles if played intelligently. The area right of the 13th tee is a scenic hotspot that gives spectators and golfers front row seating for the action on 12 and 13, as well as the 16th tee. The par 3 is just 145 yards, but the exposure to wind and the prospect of missing the green down the hillside on the left puts renewed emphasis on accuracy. 2 stately umbrella pines act as goalposts that must be split, and it's essential to find the correct platform of yet another split-level green for a realistic putt for birdie. The par 4s at Marco Simone are either quite short or very long, with the 14th in the latter category. The fairway ripples downhill, breaking across the terrain in waves. Only the strongest players will be able to make the carry over the corner bunkers of this nearly 500-yard dogleg. But given the height of the tee, many will try, especially in downwind conditions. The approach plays towards a deep green cut into the side slope of a hill, with the land falling away sharply into a deep bunker on the right, leaving recoveries from well below the putting surface. A thumbprint depression dividing the front and back halves of the green is a common resting spot for golf balls. During the Italian Opens, contested at Marco Simone between 2021 and 2023, the 14th and long par 4 15th played as two of the three most difficult holes on the golf course. Bending back in the opposite direction of 14, 15 ploughs through two man-made ridgelines and presents a trio of bunkers at the corner that must be taken on unless a 190-yard semi-blind uphill second shot is to be desired. The green is large and open on the left, with a higher plateau on the right, and approaches that find the correct elevation will have a reasonable 2-putt for par, but good luck to those who need 3s to extend the match. From the high tee above the 15th green, the 16th plays back into the bowl at the centre of the course and looks like a problem with no clear solution. The rather unsatisfactory play is a 200-yard shot short and right of the centreline bunker, but any other choice carries extreme risk. Drives that carry the bunker could bounce into the creek that bisects the fairway, and flying the creek requires a 300-yard carry with a pond lurking closely on the right. Ryder Cup players and caddies will delve deep into yardages and weighty discussions when they get to this hole, and it's a good bet that matches will be won and lost at 16. The par 3 17th is benched into the side of a long, fescue-covered ridge that sweeps away to the left towards a grassy tributary. The deep 3-tiered green, just 15 yards side to side, is one of the strictest targets on the course, though the embankment on the right will help hold up shots if they don't get tangled in the rough. The same can't be said for the left side, tumbling precipitously into a low collection area. With its diabolical surrounds and greens within a green contours, the 17th puts an exclamation point on the need for precision. The 18th, a par 5 playing well over 600 yards from the tournament tees, is a cornucopia of possibilities and outcomes, particularly with matches on the line. The downhill drive and one of the most inviting fairways on the course will encourage players to just swing away, and then decide how aggressively to push second shots down towards the green angled behind a water hazard. A fairway bunker short of the green must be reckoned with, but the number of strokes it takes players to get in the hole from 50 yards and in is likely to determine who wins and who loses. The golf courses of continental Europe have long been overshadowed by the links of the UK and Ireland. A course like Marco Simone, challenging the timeless charm of the Roman countryside and capable of holding an international spotlight, helps to balance the scale. The architectural recipe at Marco Simone is simple but effective. Decide how much risk to take on the drive, play accurate irons, and find the correct vector of each green to reduce long breaking putts. It's a recipe that can hold the attention of the world's greatest players while sparking the interest of everyday golfers. It has already marked Marco Simone as one of Europe's premier tournament destinations.